2, 1. I'm Margot.
And I'm Sierra.
This is Fire
and Blood
and Booze. Hey, Sierra. We're back for season 2. Woo! Finally, literally, this whole freaking podcast has been leading up to this premiere, and boy, was it a good one.
Yeah, we planned this entire podcast around how many episodes we wanted to come out before season 2 came out.
Indeed. Indeed. It's amazing. Also, side note, my father, look, I have the microphone the right way. You're welcome.
Be sure to zoom in on your mic being the right direction.
Thank you. What are you drinking today?
Today, I am drinking a homemade mead.
Ooh, what's the flavor?
Cherry?
I actually, when I was at your house a couple days ago, I meant to get Danny to get me some of that, but completely forgot.
Well, we had a lot going on, and it was late.
Yes, fair. I am drinking a pink Moscato. Ooh. Is this our first time drinking wine on the podcast, and we're both drinking it?
I think so.
That's crazy. Congrats to us. Oh, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. We are going over season 2, episode 1 recap. Hopefully y'all watched it. I was in person to watch this premiere a couple days ago, and it was really, really good. And of course, I knew nothing, so we'll talk about that.
And I will have our live reaction video coming out sometime this week.
Fun. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a summary. And it goes, we start out at Winterfell and at the Wall. Jace gets the Starks in the north on Rhaenyra's side. Back in Dragonstone and after the death of her son Luke, Rhaenyra is heartbroken and neglecting her queen duties and neglecting the war planning. This comes much to the frustration of Daemon, who is running the war at this moment. In King's Landing, the Valyrians have blockaded the passageway, which is called
the Gullet.
Aegon is actually doing his kingly duties, and Alicent is mad stressed. Her and Otto struggle for power over the king. Rhaenyra comes back, and with her only line in the season 2 premiere, orders a kill on Aemond. Daemon ropes in a rat catcher and a traitor Kingsguard to kill him. When they don't find Aemond, they end up killing Jaehaerys, the next in line to Aegon's throne, his son. This traumatizes Helaena.
Thoroughly.
Yeah. Okay. So you ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Okay. So I do want to start off with, there is a new title card sequence. It is so beautiful. It's like this embroidery that's like embroidering itself. And what does it portray?
It is the history of the Targaryens from the time of Valyria up until now.
Amazing.
With the last sequence, Vhagar and Arrax.
Amazing. It is gorgeous. I love it a lot more than the other one. Like, I might watch it a couple times when I'm rewatching these episodes. I rewatched it when I watched this episode, so it might be a watchable title card sequence, which is crazy.
And I can't wait to see how it changes over the episodes, because I feel like that final shot is going to be different every episode.
Oh,
time.
Cool. I love that. Very, very cool. Do you think it's going to come back for the 3rd season?
I hope so.
Me too. I think they realized the first one was kind of meh.
Yeah, they could only go so far with like the bloodlines trickling down.
Yeah.
So they have to do something different.
Yes. Okay. Our first scene is we see a beautiful shot of Old Winterfell. I freaked out when I first saw this. It was so exciting. I was like, oh, that's Winterfell.
Right.
And they have this narrator who I'm going to ask who that is in a second. But I thought it was Jon Snow narrating because they did such a good job with that specific northern accent that I just thought it was Jon Snow. They did
So fair.
they did a really good job, whoever did it, perfecting that northern accent. So who was it?
That is Cregan Stark doing the voiceover, which is who we see with Jace.
Okay, I thought so, but I forgot what made me think it wasn't. But whatever.
The actor's name's like Tom something, I think.
He kind of fine.
Not entirely sure, but
yeah. So the narration, and then we see the wall, which is what I wanted to see out of season 2 of House of the Dragon. I was excited to see it. I do think they did a weird job. I'll talk about this a little bit later. No, I'll talk about it now. But in the behind the scenes, they talked about how they wanted to stay true to the wall of Game of Thrones. And they did. And we only saw a little bit of it. But what I wanted to see, though, was it being at its peak. And I think they dialed it, or not really dialed it back, but like remained the same as the Game of Thrones wall, which I wish they kind of made it better, because it was better back in that time, right?
I mean, I'm sure there were more people than we see in Game of Thrones time.
Yeah. But like I also feel like the battlement, or like the structures were better. I don't know. They kind of just copied and pasted the wall, and they said that in the behind the scenes. But yeah. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more.
They did change like the color of the snow though to make it look younger, like it was more glow. They made it a little bit more white since we're further back in time.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I like that. I like that little detail. Very cool. Okay. So yeah, Jace and the Stark, whose first name is Cregan. So they are basically talking like Jace is trying to get him over to the Rhaenyra side. And why did they have tension? Why did they have some sexual tension?
A little bit.
A little bit.
But so did Alicent and Rhaenyra, so...
Yeah. But what did you tell me when we were watching it?
That it is a very popular fan theory that Jace and Cregan had relations. Some theories are in the text are that Jace married his sister while he was up north, but the fan theory is that that was just a cover because Jace and Cregan were together.
Interesting. It's like a Renly Marjorie type thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. That is very interesting. But yeah, I immediately picked up on that tension, and I honestly think it was intentional, especially hearing about that fan theory. Maybe something will come of it.
Maybe. You never know.
Maybe. Okay, one more thing about this scene. When they were getting out of the elevator, some Night's Watchmen said, "My prince," and some said, "My lord." Are they talking only to Jace, or are they calling the Stark my lord?
I think they're talking to both.
Okay. So I thought you had to give up your titles to join the Watch. So why is the Stark still being called my lord?
I think that I was wrong when we watched this, and that the person we saw be picked for the wall was not past Cregan. I think introduction to get to the wall, and that was a different character.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I was very confused by that.
Yeah, which would make sense why he's still the Lord of Winterfell.
Mm-hmm. That does make sense. Okay,
obviously
great.
Not him being picked.
Yeah.
To the wall.
Okay, that makes sense. And then the scene ends with news from Dragonstone, and you just know it is announcing Luke's death, and Jace's face is so upsetting.
Yeah. I do want to point out the little bit of dragon lore that we got.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That the past king and queen, Jaehaerys and Alysanne, rode their dragons to the north, but their dragons refused to cross the wall.
That was a badass line. I meant to write it down, and it was in contenders to be my favorite quote, because that is a badass line. It's like, Yeah, they came to the wall, and you know what? The dragons refused to pass the wall. And it just kind of sets up Game of Thrones, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
I wonder if we'll get any of that in House of the Dragon. Probably not.
Probably not.
It was still a little fun callback.
Oh, I do have one more little book fun fact, fun theory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that one account says that Jace's dragon laid a clutch of eggs at Winterfell in the crypts.
Okay.
Don't know how that would not have been found by the time of Game of Thrones, but it's out there.
So, where does that come from? What's the significance?
That there would be dragon eggs in Winterfell
Mm-hmm.
all of the time.
For the Jon Snow TV show?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So next we see Rhaenyra coming back from the blockade at the Gullet, and Daemon's like, we're riding out again. And basically it's a whole like introduction that Rhaenyra is heartbroken. She hasn't been around anyone in a long time. She's grieving, and Daemon's like, this bitch is neglecting her duties, and Rhaenys is like, she's a grieving mother. Give her some time.
Yeah, like 5 minutes, maybe?
Like, literally 5 minutes. It's been less than a week. Come on. I have a couple quotes. I'll save one till the end, but Daemon says, Vhagar, the hoary old bitch, and that made me laugh.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the end, Daemon tries to get her to ride out again, and he goes, that's an order. And she goes, it would if you were king.
But
he's not. But he's not.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Do you have anything else about that scene?
No, just that line was incredible.
That line was really good. Okay. And then we get some shots of Rhaenyra looking sad and dirty and really upsetting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything before the Corlys scene?
Nope, that's my next.
Okay, you introduce it. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
So the next big scene that we have is Corlys coming to check on the progress of his ship being patched up after battling Triarchy last season, that he got injured, blah, 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 blah. Ship took damage, it's getting worked on, and we meet one of our new characters, Alan of Hull.
Yeah!
In control of making sure the ship gets repaired, and also has a dagger that Corlys had commissioned for Luke before his death.
It was so cute. Corlys really loved his fake grandson. And anyways, Corlys really loved his grandson. What'd you say?
Said you stop.
I'm sorry. But yeah, Corlys really loved his grandson, and it was a really sweet moment because like Luke was going to inherit Corlys's job.
Yeah.
And throne, and I don't know, everything. So it was just really heartbreaking to see. He looked so sad.
Yeah.
You told me that was the dagger you were talking about in the promo shots?
It's the same design. It's the same pommel.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
Nope. It's on to Helena and Aegon.
Huh?
My next scene is Helena and Aegon.
Okay, I have a little bit before that. We see at King's Landing, they have the Scorpion. And I thought it was really interesting that that technology was lost as the dragons were lost. And so in Game of Thrones, it was not there. And then once the dragons came back, they had to rediscover that technology, and they recreated it. I thought that was a really cool callback as well to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Helena and the Rats.
Helena and the Rats, and Helena and Aegon acting like he's actually a dad.
Honestly, Aegon kind of cute.
Aegon kind of cute. Aegon, I've come around to Aegon because I like the actor so much.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like I'll talk about this a little bit later as well, but he's honestly kind of charming. And especially when he's doing his job, even though it's like Alicent has usurped it, whatever. But when he's doing his job and he is being a father and sober, he's really charming. It seems like he cares about his constituents and his family, which is kind of crazy.
I think that he is really just seeking praise and seeking for someone to love him. Not that he necessarily cares about doing good, but when he helps someone, they're very thankful and so gracious. And I think he feeds on that attention because he did not get it.
Interesting. That might be part of it. I didn't get that, especially like with his son. He was actually, it seems like he's super proud of his little boy and he's really excited to teach him and help him grow, RIP. But like, he seems really excited about his kid and he's actually kind of a cute little father, even though he's kind of a bitch to every, especially that Lannister. We'll get to that, but.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy, but but yeah, he was kind of cute. And then Helena is afraid of the rats. Is that foreshadowing the end of this episode?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. Wasn't she afraid of the rats in the last season?
I don't know that she said anything about it. She said, "Beware the beast beneath the boards," which was the rats, which was going to foreshadow this, but it was actually Millie's. So,
okay, cool. Okay, next scene is I don't know how to say this.
Alicent and Kristen Cole having a one-on-one moment.
Yeah, he eating her out. So
okay. Okay.
I said, Cole, you bitch.
Yeah, that's fair.
I said, I can't believe he had a sexual relationship with Alicent. How long do you think that was going on?
I want to know because I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think it was happening before Viserys died?
I think so.
Really? Okay.
I don't think it's been going on for like super long, but at least like 2 years probably.
Here's what I think. I mean, I have no little evidence for this, but I think she didn't. But as soon as Viserys died, they had something. Like, they probably had, like, tension and chemistry before. But I think she's a very godly woman. I think she's very loyal. Yeah, I think she's very loyal. I do think she's loyal. I think she's very loyal and, like, she wouldn't do that to him. But, like, she wanted to. And so as soon as he died, she jumped on that dick.
I think their relationship is very, very strange and very, very close by the end of season 1. Who knows?
Who knows?
Especially episode 7, when she's like, "No, you serve me."
Yeah. It was at least in the making. Say that again?
When she's like, "You serve me," and Cole is like, "Yeah, bet. I got you."
Got you. I definitely think it was in the making, at least in the making at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And then he has no problem fucking Alicent, but when it came to Rhaenyra and him fucking, he was all about honor. You made me break my code and honor. I'm like, yeah, you just got your heart broken, bitch. Like, you're such a bitch baby.
He is such a bitch baby. I do also think it's very interesting on Alicent's part that she's so very, this is about duty and honor. I serve the realm and the betterment of my people. But also the first person to like show her attention, she like is all over it.
Yeah. Well, she didn't get that. She only was with Viserys, who she probably loved, but not was like in love with him, and also obviously like didn't love the sex or something. So she's finally being like fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so she popped on that.
Which is fair. And Kristen Cole's a bitch baby that will take anything he can get. So.
Literally. And it's so hypocritical.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what's next?
Do we want to touch on anything more about the council other than the baby?
I just said, wait, why is Aegon so cute with his son? That's all that I have about that.
I think I only have Aemond showing up late. It's funny. Alicent's like, fucker. Yeah.
Well, it's not even showing up late. He wasn't supposed to show up at all because he's not on the small council.
Yeah.
And they needed a master of ships. They said they needed a master of ships.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so they're missing a master of ships because Corlys obviously is with Rhaenyra. But I think Aegon is going to get that maybe because they said that and then Aegon almost immediately comes in and then starts talking about war strategy. So I feel like he's going to get some position soon.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Which is fair. My next thing is when Alicent was taking a bath, she like sends everyone away. And all I have to say about that is I too would be overwhelmed with 4 people watching me take a bath.
I have a different take on this.
Oh, go.
So just before this, Alicent and Larys have a conversation in the hall about how he rooted out anybody that could potentially be a spy, killed them, and replaced them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at this point, Alicent does not trust Larys and the people that he has put in to the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we get that bath scene, you see one of the maids like crush something into the soap that she's about to use, and that's when Alicent is like, get out.
Whoa. Yeah. What?
I think she's super
paranoid. Interesting. That's a good take. I like that take.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. And then my next scene is Rhaenyra finding her son's remains. Okay. Before we get into that, Rhaenyra quickly getting off of her dragon? Hot. Even though it was to see her dead son's remains.
It was hot.
It was hot. But then I have a bunch of sad faces.
Yeah. I mean, we've never seen anybody like dismount their dragon so quickly. Like that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad. And Rhaenyra or Rhaenys even said earlier, like, I didn't believe it true and I couldn't get over it until I saw Laena, her daughter's remains. So I think that was like a little foreshadowing to this moment where she finally believes it's true. And now she's like, oh, something needs to happen now. And we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yes.
Next one is Aegon being king.
Yeah.
And hearing the small folks' complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I said, wait, why is he so charming?
I think I have 3 notes about this scene.
Okay, go.
First is that Aegon's trying to be like a very kind, generous, giving king, and Otto immediately shuts him down.
Yep.
But later on in the scene, when Hugh is up and he's talking about needing money for the Scorpions before they build them, and Otto tries to say something to him, and Aegon leans around and continues talking to Hugh, and Otto turns around and just lets it go.
Yep.
Well, that was really funny.
That was really funny.
Speaking of Scorpions, Dorne invented the Scorpion and used it during...
And use it during what?
Aegon's conquest.
Ooh, that's interesting. That also makes sense why it's called a Scorpion.
Yeah.
Cool. Love that.
I thought you would enjoy that.
I did.
I'm not going to tell you how we know that they invented that because I think they're doing a prequel for the conquest and I don't want to spoil it for you. And my last note is that during the scene when they give like a wide shot of whoever is speaking to Aegon, you can see Cheese the rat catcher walk by with his dog in his traps.
Ooh, interesting. That's cool. My notes are Aegon's so charming, and kind of my take on this was you can tell he's not trained for this, but he like wants the best for his constituents and like is trying to be a generous king like you said, but Otto shuts him down, and Otto seething during the scene is so funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah. And then on his way back, Larys comes up and talks to him. And I describe this as Larys is already digging his nails into Aegon.
I have this written down as Larys, that manipulative twat.
Yep.
Yep.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have the scene where Alicent and her father have a conversation about their power struggle and that they both want to be in power, but are they not on the same side? What do you have about this?
I have two notes about it, and one of them is that Alicent is reading Otto's letters when he walks in because she has been sitting there for hours waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting that she's like
Otto's
nooping.
letters?
Yes.
Oh, that was Otto's chambers, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay, cool. And in this conversation, what I mainly got out of it was you can really tell that Alicent is disappointed that Aemond and Vhagar killed Luke. Like she mourns for him. She mourns that happened kind of on her behalf, and she feels for Rhaenyra. I can tell. Like I can just tell that she like really feels for her, at least as a mother.
Yeah, she definitely feels for her, but her line about and Aemond is angry, Luke took his eye and he never got retribution for it, so while his actions were a little too far, it's justified. Like,
well, I think what I took from that is she said that out loud, but the way she said it and like the kind of rolling the eyes and the sad look on her face is that she's trying to keep up appearances that she supports the cause and that she supports her son, but deep down she truly does feel sorry for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the acting, that's what I got from Olivia's acting.
And Olivia's a great actress.
And Olivia's a great actor. Oh my God. And then the further proof that she mourns his death is at the Sept, where she's like mourning all the people. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but she's mourning all the people that have died, and she says Lucerys Velaryon. Ooh, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. A good line from this scene is she's talking about how Otto is constantly undercutting her at these meetings. And she says, if you undermine my voice, both those boys will grow deaf to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is because they both look up to him.
Yeah.
And if he's continuously like putting her down and not taking her seriously, the boys aren't going to take her seriously.
Yeah.
So.
One quick note about White Worm.
Mm-hmm.
Her accent is way much better this season, and I am appreciative.
I have one note, and it's that Daemon looks like he is about to choke her like he did Rhaenyra,
Mm-hmm.
and she laps his hand away and grabs his hand.
Period.
He does not let her, or she does not let him do that shit.
Period. Mm-hmm. And we'll do a deep dive of Daemon later.
Yes, that's a whole episode in and of itself.
Yes. So after that, Rhaenyra comes back and she walks in, and I've never seen her look more like Dany than walking away from her dragon in a shin-length red coat, and it looks chef's kiss amazing. And you can tell Daemon still really cares for her, even though he talked mad shit earlier. When they come together, they do that little forehead thing, and that is literally the cutest thing ever. And then he said, "Did you find what you needed?"
Yeah.
And she kind of like nods a little bit. And it's just the cutest shit. I wish they wouldn't like keep derailing Daemon's character arc, because that was a cute ass moment.
Yeah. I saw a post earlier that was like Daemon's love language is forehead touches, because he does it to Rhaenyra's belly when she's pregnant, to Laena's belly when she's pregnant, and Viserys on the throne.
Oh my god. I just got chills. Thank God. So cute. And then she walks up at the front of the room. Everyone has her attention. And then she goes, "I want Aemon Targaryen." And then leaves.
Yeah.
Boss ass bitch move.
Made direct eye contact with Daemon, said,
Mhm.
"I want Aemon." And Rhaena looks at him and is like, "What the fuck?" and then Rhaenyra leaves.
And then Daemon's face is like, "Of course, babe, I got you. Hell yeah."
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Honestly, he has been waiting for this.
Yeah.
And then Jace comes in with Rhaenyra, and this is the scene that made me tear up. They're talking about business first, but the elephant in the room prevails, and then they hug and cry. Like, Jace's voice, while he's trying to remain professional and like tell Rhaenyra all the business he's done and like the successes he's had, is just so heartbreaking, because he's like breaking up the whole time. And then they finally just break down and hug and cry. And I teared up on the rewatch too.
Yeah, I didn't tear up the first time because I was like so excited for the episode that I was really paying attention. Rewatch, I cried both times yesterday.
Yeah.
And it is even worse when you rewatch it and you realize that he breaks down and like reaches out to her first. And then she envelops. It's rough.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
I'm tearing up thinking about it.
No, fucking I'm getting chills again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it is Alicent in the Sept, and then saying names of people who have died and that she's mourning. Who is Alarie Florent?
So we don't know in canon, or we didn't know in canon, what her mother's name was, but we do know that she's a Florent, so.
Oh, cool. Okay, good. And then Luke's funeral, just sad. I don't really have any notes about that. Do you?
Just really sad, and that Daemon is already hightailed it out of there and is not present.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he said, "Oh, she wants me to get Aemond. I'm gonna get on that right away."
Yeah, he cannot process emotions.
Yes. And then there's a quick little scene with Cole and Aemond. They're friends? Question mark.
Hate it. They're disgusting. I hate them.
Yeah, no, that was a weird friendship that I did not see coming. And then Aemond calls his mother Alicent. Interesting. And a fool.
Yeah.
Did you count that as insulting someone behind their back?
I did, yes.
Good.
Yes.
And then Alicent claims Aemond started the war. So she's definitely just not happy about him killing Luke. But like, Alicent, you know what you did. Like, you started the war by putting Aegon on the throne. Like, don't be that delusional.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then do you want to introduce B and C?
I will. This is more Daemon deep dive that we'll get into later. But the next scene is Daemon getting into King's Landing via the gold cloaks, because that was his whole spiel. He created the gold cloaks, all of that. He knows all of them. Gets into the city and hires one of them and a rat catcher to sneak into the castle and kill Aemond.
Mm-hmm.
They ask, "What do we do if we don't find him?" And they cut off. A real bad history of not committing to Daemon either being bad or good.
Ooh, that's a good point. Because like, I saw that last night. I didn't notice it in the first rewatch or the first watch because I didn't know what was about to happen. Mm-hmm. So I was like, What does that mean? What do you think he said?
We'll get into that. That is a
In,
whole long.
in the deep dive?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in the Daemon deep dive. So they start going into the castle and they encounter Aegon on the Iron Throne drunk. And I was like, finally, he's drunk and like he's not actually this perfect king and perfect father sober. There's a couple lines. You could so they're trying to come up with the name for Aegon. Like, you know how Viserys was like Viserys the kind? The what?
The peaceful.
The peaceful. Viserys the peaceful. So he's coming up with a name. They're like Aegon the generous. And then someone said you could be Aegon the strong. And then Aegon says, my nephew has already taken that one.
I hate him.
Alluding to the fact that Rhaenyra's children are strong boys. Harwin Strong's the father. I think I missed it the first time, but I think that counts as illegitimacy questioned on my bingo board.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you. And then I said, finally, he's a drunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. And then
we get you.
Yeah, we get to Helena and the twins' room, and they find Helena. They have a knife to her throat, and they can't find Aemond. So apparently that means killing whoever they want, basically.
Yeah, they looked very hard.
It looked very hard, yeah. No, they looked so long, aka they did not look even for a moment. I said B and C stands for blood and cheese. So cheese is the rat catcher, blood is the traitor Kingsguard that Daemon ropes in. I said the way B and C let Helena leave. Oh wait, no, sorry. So they have a knife to her throat and they're like, which one is the boy? And she points at Jaehaerys, which that must be such a hard decision. And so sad. I don't know what was going through her brain. What do you think?
I think you can see it in Fia's acting. You can see her face change at one point where she realizes that she has seen this before, like she's had this vision.
Oh.
I think she has had this vision before, and you can see it like click in her eyes when she realizes, fuck.
This is the moment.
I know how this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she changed it. Maybe in the vision she had, she didn't give him up and they all died.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she made that lesser of two evils choice.
Oh, that so sucks for her. I feel so bad. So then they start beheading the 2-year-old boy, which is so heartbreaking. Like during the first watch, like you hear the noises. Thank God we didn't see it. All y'all bitches out there that want to see that and are like, House of the Dragon is soft and shit. Fuck y'all, because that is horrible. The sounds alone was awful. Jail. Go to jail. Bye. And then the way that BNC let Helena... Oh yeah, go ahead.
I will say that it was even more horrific, obviously, because George is just a horrific person. She has 2 sons and the daughter, and they make her choose between the sons, either the baby Maelor or Jaehaerys. And she gives up Maelor. She's like, take him, because she's like, he's very, very little. He doesn't know what's happening. He's not going to know what's happening. Jaehaerys is older. He'll understand what's going on. And they whisper to Maelor and go, see that little boy? Your mommy wants you dead. And then they kill Jaehaerys anyway.
Ugh, awful. Absolutely awful.
Alicent was there.
What?
Yeah.
What? What'd she do?
She had gone to visit them, like visit her grandbabies, and they tied her up and gagged her and made her watch everything.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Hate that.
Yeah.
But the way Blood and Cheese let Helena leave that easy with the other child is crazy.
Crazy. They were there for 1 house.
Yeah, no, literally. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, and then the sounds of the little boy's head being cut off is crazy. And then she runs to Allison's chambers, and Allison and Cole are slapping cheeks.
Shut up.
Shut up. Absolutely traumatizing, Helena. That is awful. Ugh.
Horrific.
They really did. They really did set that up really well, though. Like, I think the storytelling and the scenes were good. It's just an awful plot line.
Yeah. And I imagine Allison's going to have a more guilt in the show because she took the family guard to her room.
Shit. Oh my God.
Him guarding.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Allison just keeps on fucking up.
So,
okay. So, for our superlatives, what do you want to start with?
Let's do MVP first, since we were just talking about mine.
We were also just talking about mine. Mine is also Helena.
Yeah. Girlie went through it this episode.
And like, she tried her best and it just didn't work out. And I feel so bad for her.
And Fia is so incredible this episode. Oh my God.
Yeah, she is really good.
Way better than we saw her in season 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see more of her in this first episode.
Yeah, true.
Ugh, poor girl. Favorite quote?
I want Aemon Targaryen.
I mean, it's an iconic line.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of on the same line. When Daemon and Rhaenys were talking, Daemon was like, Rhaenyra shouldn't be alone out there with her dragon. What if she met Vhagar and Aemond? And Rhaenys says, then I would pity Aemond. Because it's a good one. Because she knows the heartbreak it comes with losing a child. And she knows that Rhaenyra would fuck him up.
Yeah, no questions asked.
No questions asked. I thought that was a cool line.
Yeah.
Okay. And then favorite scene?
Mine is Rhaenyra and Jace's reunion.
Mine is also that. Oh,
it's so emotional.
It's so emotional. And it literally lasts like 20 seconds, but just the acting on Rhaenyra and Jace's part. I don't even know it's David Tennant's son.
No.
No?
No, David Tennant's son was young Aegon.
Oh, my bad.
This is Harry Collette.
Harry Collette and Emma Darcy in that scene are just phenomenal, and just their voices while they're talking is so heartbreaking, and so a beautiful scene.
Yeah. It's very emotional. It's very beautiful. And there's not a lot of very long scenes in this episode. They're very short and broken up, but that one really stands out. Well,
that kind of leads into my first TV fact. So I watched The House That Dragons Built, the behind the scenes House of the Dragon show. And one of the first things they say is it's much more Games of Thrones-y. And I completely agree. I literally said it moves faster. Like, they have more characters, they have more scenes. The storylines are becoming more chaotic. We're following more characters. There's more places, more wild shit, and it's making more sense.
Yeah.
So I definitely think this first episode of season 2 is way more Games of Thrones-y, and I love it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you have any book facts for us that you haven't already said?
The main differences were Alicent and Cole are not even referenced as happening.
Yep.
But obviously it's a very biased historical retelling by somebody else, so who knows if that's canon or not. And the main differences between Blood and Cheese was way more horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they kind of toned it down because it was already horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A couple more TV chat or TV facts? Okay. So I just thought this was cool. Where the season 1 was shot one bit at a time, season 2 is shot multiple things at the same time. So they did multiple locations, multiple directors of photography, like just multiple teams at the same time. I'm just like imagining the coordination it took for that.
Yes.
Incredible. Good for them.
5 different directors shooting all at the same time.
Crazy.
For 8 episodes.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, thank God they did that, because they really did have to fast track that in order to get season 2 out in the time that they did it. I'm very impressed.
And thankful.
And thankful. And then they have a whole segment on the different apartments and like who moved into whose quarters. And I thought a couple of things were interesting. Helena's quarters, which are obviously Allison's old apartment, because she's queen now. They have graffiti on them. And I honestly didn't even notice when I first watched it, but it's to demonstrate her constant thinking and how she sees the world in a different way, and also how she expresses her anxiety and like paranoia about the world. I just thought that was a really interesting fact.
Yeah, that when I watched it, that really stood out to me.
Yeah. And then Alicent gets moved into Rhaenyra's room, and they thought it was kind of ironic that she did that. And Alicent and Rhaenyra had sex with Cole in the same room.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Fucked up. Okay. So that was our recap. I do want to do a little draft update. If you don't know, go on our TikTok. We have a whole video about our fantasy draft for season 2 of Fire and Blood and Booze. We both picked our teams, and we have different things that the characters can do that will gain or lose points for our team. I have currently 21 points. No, I'm so sorry. I have 26 points.
I have 9 points. My team was really lacking this week. It's okay. We'll make up for it in the back end. All right.
Yeah, sure.
We got this.
You got this. Sure. But yeah, go check out on our TikTok, and we also have a YouTube video of us actually picking our draft and picking our teams. It's super fun, and hopefully you join along in it, because it was really fun to make, and it's really fun to stack up points. If you see we have live reactions of us watching the first episode, and every time something happens that is either on our bingo card or on our draft, we freak out and get excited.
We do. It's
super fun. But yeah, check out our socials, click the link tree in all of our episode descriptions. Do you have any final words, Sierra?
just that I'm super hyped for this season, and I can't wait to keep doing these.
Hell yeah! Okay, bye.